All right, everybody. I've got a video here of a slow prone stage that's pair fired at a team match with my friend Randy from Houston. So this was at the Golden Triangle Gun Club in Beaumont, Texas, and I have a crappy little diagram to show you. So this is like my depiction of the range. Okay. I know it's bad, but anyway, the range faces west, okay? And we had a wind that was coming from the southeast. So that's this large arrow here. The range is kind of protected with tree lines on three sides. And there are a lot of ranges that are built like this. I call it a three-sided box. All right, and it's got a part of it that's open because we got to be able to get in there somehow. So this range has an opening over here. So the firing line is here, and the wind comes right through that opening. So there are flags that are situated on the right side, just kind of along the tree line. Now, these flags, right, they're like there, another one here, another one here, and another one here. There's also a tiny little one here, but you can't see it, so not going to draw that one. Um, Now, the wind at this range typically does come in from this angle, so 7 or 8 o'clock. And what happens is that it comes in and it hits these trees. You can see them moving around and stuff. And that kind of causes some turbulence, and so the wind that comes in after that just kind of has to scoot along downrange, right? Kind of gets pushed straight downrange. But then some of it kind of curls off and goes the other way, goes to the left. And some of that even hits this tree line over here on the left side of the range and can kind of weakly bounce off and head in this left to right direction. So what does this mean? Well, it means that if we are paying attention only to mirage and the flags without understanding the overall layout of the range, we're going to be pretty damn confused. So what typically happens is this flag here that's close to the 600-yard fire line will be predominantly showing this incoming wind. So the flags will be showing left to right, this flag. And then this flag over here probably showing, it might be showing left to right, and also might just be showing straight downwind, straight down range. And then these two flags over here, this one in particular at the 200-yard line, a lot of the times it's showing right to left. And then this one down here next to the targets could be going any direction. And mirage, well, it really depends on where you're at on the range. Let's say you're here at 300. Well, at 300, we're looking at the mirage, and with this classic wind pattern, it's mostly showing right to left. But it could also be showing a little bit of weak left to right. And when you get back to 600, you've got wind going in different directions at the different distances. And so, mirage is pretty tricky to read at this range. So, with this in mind, the wind on this particular day, okay, was coming in from 7 or 8 o'clock at about, let's say, 12 to 15 mile an hour. Okay. So 12 to 15 miles an hour. So I figured to myself, okay, well, but that's sort of in the atmosphere. The conditions on the ground are going to be less. Okay. So maybe something like, I don't know, 6 miles an hour. And then, if it were coming in at from about 7 o'clock, that's half value. That's like 3 miles an hour. And then, what is the conversion, right, for windage? 3 miles an hour would be a minute and a half. Okay. So I started out here with a minute and a half left because I figured that the predominant condition right in front of us, which is the condition that affects the trajectory the most, after all the dampening that I took into effect, right, off of 12 miles an hour, to get down to just a minute and a half left, I figured that would kind of handle any of this other, any other funkiness downrange. Okay. So that is where I started. 1.5 minutes left. Okay. So let's get back to the video.
Yeah.
Down there on it.
All right, so we got a left and a right. Got that set right now. We got the right target. Let's see if we got a.
I'm going to start with a minute and a half left. And then we'll see what happens.
That's the best way to do it.
Okay, so it's showing two-sided, so your sided should work
I haven't
fine.
even looked at it yet. It's not really doing anything now.
All right.
All right, there's the trigger cam.
The other one's kind of early right here.
What did you all have at 300?
Down about halfway.
Bruce, you need a cut
Normally, rule of thumb, if it's still going the same way, you just double that.
Alrighty. Get in position. Checking out the Mirage with my spotting scoop.
So both of these was pretty much the same.
I'm getting ready to talk to my buddy Randy, who's parafiring as the left shooter. You can kind of hear the wind blowing. You can kind of see it moving the. Oh, Randy's
Hey, Randy, you looking at the
belongings.
Mirage? Hang on just a sec. I'm still singing up. Last time I looked, it was blowing left to right. Let me take a look. I can't decide if it might be going right to left. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes Mirage can be hard to see. Right? It was a slightly overcast day.
Yeah, okay. Can't tell
It's always nice.
Not much there.
Always nice to have a partner to
It's boiling.
bounce ideas off of.
Left to right. That's our predominant. All right. So you're going to go with the original plan? Yeah. All right, that's what I've got on the gun right now.
Here you go.
Thank you.
That was the original plan. 1.5 minutes left, all right?
Oh, okay. 91, 22. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
I didn't want you to go, oh my God, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Nope. Target 7. Come on. Get off of target 6. Not 8 either. Nope. Gotta move my my body around to get the right NPA. So again, my when I breathe, the reticle tends to go down and up just like everybody else, but also a little bit diagonal. Yeah, there it is. There's the diagonal breathing. Yeah, you can hear the wind. I don't see it in those trees though. So it's blowing right where we are, and the trees are not down there at the target. You can kind of see him moving in the background behind me, moving pretty good. And my buddy Kevin is sitting behind me, and you know, he's got his rain gear on. It's flapping around. Let's see. Okay, yeah, now we can see the trees moving. Right? Yeah, they're moving. So this is something I've started to do, is paying attention to vegetation. You know, flags are good. They can be really indicative. But the features of the range will influence how those flags work and how valuable they are. And at this range, as we discussed,
Preparation period has ended.
they can be
You'll
kind
now
of
have a sight. Whoa,
misleading.
This stage of fire will be slow fire prone. 2 sighting shots and 20 shots for record.
Look
For
at those
each firing
trees.
member fired in a block time of 91 minutes with 1 round load. Is the line ready?
Getting ready.
The line is ready.
William, which direction?
Your time will begin and you may fire. Start.
What? Turn your spotting scope? Which direction is it? Clockwise or counterclockwise? I don't get the question. Like,
All right, Randy, here we go.
to be able to see the mirage, which way?
Oh, look at that beautiful image.
Center. Far out, man.
Go the other way.
No.
Way out. Way out.
It's a headwind, so you should be good.
So what do you want to do, Conrad? Well, I'm taking all of that off. Okay.
So, in hindsight,
Go to your.
right? In hindsight, when I look at the way the shot broke, right when it broke, I think I would have called an X at 10. An X at 10 o'clock, right? So that puts us right here on the grid. And where did the shot end up? Well, I had a minute and a half left. And the shot ended up 1.5 minutes left. Maybe a little bit more than that, but you know, cone of fire and all that other stuff. So the plan of 1.5 minutes left is completely thrown out the window after the first sighter. And we went to our no win zero, as you probably just heard. Let me get us there. Okay.
Go to your no win zero.
Okay. Give it
Let's put 2 clicks right for safety.
all right. 2 clicks right for safety.
Wow.
So I said 2 clicks right for safety, and I think this is based on the fact that I thought I had broken that shot center. So I wanted to just lean in a little harder, right? Because I figured that we were about 2 minutes out instead of just a minute and a half. All right, so I asked Randy to put on a half minute right, and he did. And he's about to shoot his first sighter. And I took 2 clicks right to keep in sync with him.
That was a half-minute right. Far out.
So that's interesting. So from my shot to his shot, assuming that we're in sync, those two shots should be 2 minutes apart. And I kind of was thinking, I was expecting the shot to come up here center, right, or maybe even a little bit to the right of the X. But it came up over here, and in the moment, I thought, "Wow, that can't possibly be 2 minutes." But in hindsight, looking at this grid and everything, yeah, it's not far off of 2 minutes, right? So he very well could have had a minute or a half minute right. The problem is, this whole time, the wind is still doing what we were talking about previously. The predominant wind was coming in from left to right, 12 to 15 miles an hour. That's what I was seeing in the trees, and even in the mirage, and also it's what I felt right on my face, and what I felt the wind was doing right on the firing line. So very interesting, very interesting. Let's keep going and see what happens next.
I'm going to add 2 more clicks right.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I'm going to add 2 more clicks right.
You're on your own for elevation.
I also dialed down on elevation because I was high on my first sighter. Let's see what happens. I'm expecting, that I'll be center.
Exit 3. All right, so windage is good.
So at this moment, I'm feeling pretty good about windage. Like, oh, okay, I understand this.
Son of a gun.
I don't know what happened there.
So Randy had also put on a couple clicks right, and his second sighter ends up just a couple clicks up from his first sighter, and and you could hear the his comment. I don't know what happened there. It's foreshadowing for a lot of what happened next. There's a lot of wow, I don't know what just happened. So at this moment, we're we're understanding that something's not right.
Yeah, you should probably definitely come down some, but I didn't see any change to the wind.
Down 2.
I'm staying at 2 minutes, or whatever the hell we're at.
We're at 1 minute.
We're at 1 minute.
So that's some communication between the two of us that I think helped us, right? So, Randy's he's an outgoing enough guy, but he's not particularly loud. So I knew that, and so I decided I was going to be loud. So, I wanted to keep the energy level of our communication up, and that's what I did.
Oh, those overloaded? No, these I shot a 196 these Tuesday. I got some hay.
Center.
Probably just me.
So I'm feeling pretty good about winning again. Randy and I both have a minute right.
All right, Randy, you're out of sync with me a little bit, or I am out of you. So go ahead and give it like 3 clicks right.
Okay.
So I asked Randy, because his first shot went about a minute left of where mine was, and we both shot those rounds at with a minute right of windage on. So clearly something was off. I didn't feel like being so aggressive as to ask him to put a 4 clicks right to sync up with me. But I went ahead and asked him to put 3 on. He was shooting with a new barrel as well. So his no wind 0 was estimated. But yeah, so that's the kind of communication that I felt like we needed in order to get in sync as soon as possible. It didn't happen from the first sighters, for the two sighters we had, but 1 record shot each, and I think we're on our way to being in sync for windage.
3 clicks right. That gives me 7 clicks total. All right. Here we go. Exit 9. Holy smokes.
Okay. So, holy smokes. I have a minute right on the gun. And I called exit 9. Now, ignoring that my elevation is apparently not right, it looks like then I'm like a minute and a quarter off. Like that maybe my minute right is wrong. That maybe if I had had my no wind 0 on here, that the shot would have been on call. And that's really hard to believe. Given that we've got a wind that's coming in from, 7 or 8 o'clock at 12 to 15 miles an hour, and that we were feeling it there and seeing it, and everything was, getting pushed around. Very difficult to believe that a no wind 0 would have been appropriate. But in hindsight, that's what this is telling us. Let's see what happens next.
I'm going to take 2 clicks left. Okay. Yeah. Coming back 2
You
clicks
think you should
left.
come up a little bit, Conrad?
I just did.
Everything's below waterline.
Yeah, I did. Another click.
All right. So you heard me say I put 2 clicks left on, and I think that's a little conservative. I think it should have been a little more aggressive. I would have been, maybe 3. Like, even 4 clicks left, right? 4 clicks left would have taken me all the way back down to my no wind 0. But, it's not what I did.
I'm slowly building up.
Yeah.
That was our teammate, Louisiana Mike,
Good.
telling me to
was 5 clicks
bring the
left.
elevation up. Rick just shot his first shot. What did he say?
Good. That was 5 clicks right.
Okay. 5 clicks right.
Huh.
Oh. So I'm at a half minute right, and my shot went to the left. And keep in mind, the wind is still blowing left to right. I also just noticed something. See if I can get there. Watch the recoil as I shoot this. So I'm on target 7. Boom! I end up on target 8, as far as my recoil is concerned. So I think I mentioned this in my rapid prone video. This happens. It's just the way my position is. And maybe I'll work on that. But for now, I just try always to be aware of what target my reticle is on, so that I don't crossfire. All right, let's keep going.
Huh. I'm gonna add 1 click right. For me, you might want to stay the same. All right, I'm gonna stay at 5 clicks right.
Look, the wind back here, back when you took that shot.
My shot, correct? Serious? Yeah.
It's not that low.
So Randy's at 5 clicks right, and I'm at 3. I do feel like we're getting closer to being in sync, though.
Good. Yeah, you can see a little bit more mirage now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add 1 more click right.
Okay, feeling like maybe we're in sync. And you know, oh, look at that, there's sun. Sun is coming up, and you know what, in here, you could probably might even be able to see what direction the mirage is going in the Intergrix service rifle scope. Let's see.
Exit 12.
Let's just bring it up a little bit. Yeah, it does appear to be going right to left.
Exit 12.
Or maybe not.
Holy shit.
So, what is going on here, right? Like, you know, we keep moving to the right in terms of our windage knob, and keep getting pushed, at least in the last few shots, to the left. And so, put on a little more right, and all of a sudden get blown out to the right. You know, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, that shot was almost an 8.
What?
Okay.
Well, it is boiling. I would, we could either wait. Just wait a second.
Okay.
So the choice there is something has really happened, right? Something major has shifted. And we just spent a whole bunch of time and several shots shooting in a particular condition, and something major has changed. So we can either abandon what we had been working on previously and try to figure out this new condition, or we could just wait and see if our if things return back to so-called normal, if that's what you can call it.
It's going back to right to left.
Resting. I definitely see that. It's very clear.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
So it came back right to left.
5 clicks right.
I do not understand.
You can kind of hear in some of the other shooters, right? I just heard that comment. I do not understand. Hey, that makes 3 of us.
Wow.
I literally I don't understand.
Isn't that something? Holy smokes.
Yeah. That
The
was
hell's
5
going on?
clicks right, Conrad.
Now, Randy is a straight shooter, okay? He can hit the X-ring. He can pound that X-ring all day long. And it's just something really strange happening on the range today. So, yeah.
It's got to be beat your those fine rounds.
So I'm kind of looking at the flags.
Wow. Just wow. It's going left to right.
Putting newer ones in the front, so
I just went to my no win zero.
okay.
Oh God.
So there's the communication, right? Completely befuddled and deciding that, you know what, maybe we need to just go to our no win zero and, shoot as good a shots as we can. Maybe favoring around in the X ring and see what happens. Kind of a last ditch effort, honestly. Anyway, so let Randy know so that he can do the same or similar, given that he's a little bit out of sync with me.
Now it's going right to left. Huh.
Flag wise, this is what it looked like on your last shot, I think. Now looking at Mirage. When you shot that
Yeah.
9 out at 3.
All right. I got my no win zero on. I'm gonna favor a little.
Okay.
You kind of see, looks like the Mirage, at least in the rifle scope, going right to left. Let's see, little ripples at the bottom of the target faces.
Exit 9.
Nice shot.
All right. Okay.
So that was no win?
Yeah.
All right.
9, right? It's a little high.
Yeah, Mirage continues to look like it's going right to left. In the
Holy
rifle
cow.
scope.
Wow.
All right, that was 2 clicks right
Wow.
on a good shot.
What the hell? Well, the Mirage is right to left, and it is kind of flat right now.
Yeah.
It's laying down, so that just doesn't make any sense.
No, that was a half minute.
Now, in hindsight, he's saying it was a half-minute right that he had on the gun. What I need to do is ask him whether he meant half-minute right from what he thought his no-win zero was, or a half-minute right from where we decided that, that he was out of sync with me on. I think what he meant was indeed a half-minute right from his no-win zero that he entered the string with, which, now that we know his no-win zero should have been maybe a minute right already, that puts this shot out to the left by a minute. But he said he broke it good in center, so I believe him. So I think the wind probably took this shot and pushed it out another minute to the left. So part of this is, us being a little out of sync because of his new barrel. And the other part is, we missed that the wind, the Mirage, had gone from, running right to left to flat out running right to left. A little hard to tell because I think you could see that the sun was kind of going in and out, and different parts of the range were lit up with sunlight, which means we're going to be looking at different bands of Mirage. Yeah, very, very tough conditions.
Kind of boily now.
don't know that I see boiling right now. It kind of looks right, left to right.
Center.
I guess not.
All right, so what did you have on for that? That was 0. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put something on. You have a minute and a half, right? No, I just have a half. Oh, wow. That's why. You definitely want to add more. Okay. At least.
So then, me stating the obvious, you know, Randy, who's a very smart guy, probably thinking that. Thanks, Captain Obvious.
A minute. For you, maybe a minute and a half. Okay. I'm putting on 5. That's going to give me a. Okay. 7 right. Actually, I'm going to put on another one. It looks like. Hold up. It's going left to right. Huh? It's going left to right. It is? Oh, right. No. No, now it's right to left. Oh my God. Well, I've got 2 minutes on right now. See it? This is weird.
And I see it.
It's
Understatement of the year. Saying what I think everybody who's on the firing line is feeling, but not necessarily vocalizing.
a little boily. Wow, man.
Now it's going left, right again.
Correct.
I don't know what the heck to do.
Just wait for it to come back right to left.
Okay. Well, I've got 2 minutes right on the gun right now.
All right, it's going right to left, and it's kind of flat, so go for it.
All right. 2 minutes.
Okay, so it seems like our condition, sort of, is back. You know, as misleading as the Mirage is, it's kind of like all we had to go on. So let's see what happens. He said he's at 2 minutes right, which probably really means 1 minute right.
All right. How about that? I want to do that.
I don't know how I did that. That was 2 minutes right on, Conrad.
Yeah, now it's now it's coming back right to left. All right. It's not quite as flat. I have a minute and a half right.
So I want to make a comment here. You know, despite you know the shifts and the changes and everything like that, it helps to kind of, as far as attitude is concerned, to have the memory of a goldfish, right? Not being able to remember what happened more than 10 seconds ago, because you could hear in my voice, at least what I just said, it sounded like I was confident. And you know, it kind of helps. It helps to formulate a new plan and then just go with it. It's what you've got. It's all you've got. You kind of see that Mirage going right to left.
Center. Oh, come on.
So the Mirage is definitely going right to left. And I had a minute right.
Hang on, I'm doing math.
Sound good?
I'm doing math. Hang on.
Take your time.
It can't be. All right. Yeah, the Mirage is right to left. Fairly flat. Yeah, I'd go with what you had before. You were on the left side, weren't you?
Just a tad, yes.
Yeah, give me an X at 3.
All right.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold up.
Yeah,
Holding.
It flipped.
it's,
It's boiling. Left to right.
Resting.
Oh my God.
So, making another comment here. When you're pair firing, or when you're watching wind for somebody else who's shooting, it takes a lot of guts to say, you know, when you see something and it kind of looks like maybe it's changing, but you may not really want to say anything because it might not be. But, you know, our buddy is absolutely depending on us to vocalize when there even might be a change going on. And so we need to like really listen to that little voice in our heads that's saying something might be happening, and just go ahead and say something's happening. It's very difficult to develop that intuition, but we have to go with it when we hear little bits of that intuition so that we can continue to nurture it and feed that intuition. Otherwise, we'll starve it and it'll die, and then we'll have nothing to go on. And then again, communication here is key. It really matters that I'm telling my partner what's happening, or at least what I see what's happening, and he trusts me, and he rests when he has the opportunity to.
It's going right to left. All right, get ready.
You can kind of see the rain coming down
Right on.
in the scope, pointing up at the sky. It's turned completely gray,
Yeah,
Yes.
exit 3.
but he has 2 minutes right on, and I'm asking him for an exit 3.
Exit 3.
Wow. Good job.
Well, you called it.
Yeah, looks like my phone slipped a little bit, so
Target fell.
we're not seeing. Oh, target 10. Target 10 fell.
Target fell.
target down.
I think I was vaguely aware of that happening.
I can't even tell what direction it's going.
I can't either. The mirage is washed out.
They pulled the target down on you.
I can't believe y'all did that.
Left to right.
Yeah, Rush looks left to right.
Strong left to right. Wow. The hell?
What you have on your gun right now, Conrad?
Like a half right.
Feels like it's blowing right from behind us. I'm gonna have to shoot on that.
All right.
Now it looks right left. Calibration's off and it all.
You hear that, Wendy?
So I got a half right on.
Oh, I didn't load around.
Oops. Unintentional dry fire.
We have a little X on the left. Let's see what happens.
You got it.
Oh,
What?
okay.
What? Hey, we should listen to Mike.
All right, Conrad, I've got 2 minutes right on. Should I go?
We got
with it?
lucky once.
Mike, he's got 2 minutes right on.
Watch, there we go.
Because I didn't hear mine.
That second flag, if it's running to the right, you shot it, when you shot that 9 way out to the right, that flag was running to the right.
Okay.
And it was running a little bit to the right when that little X left. So I've been kind of watching that, and it's been kind of marrying up to what's been going on.
Okay, Mike, I'm next. I've got 2 minutes right on right now. Should I take it?
Holy shit. Where was your last shot?
My last shot was a 10. Just a little bit off to the right.
It was a 10 at 4.
Yeah.
On the 2 shot,
Yeah, I would take a couple clicks off for starters.
All right, I'm going to shoot it with 6 right.
like switch.
You had a half minute just now?
Yeah, he's at a minute and a half right.
Oh no, that's what you should do.
All right, 6 clicks right.
I think a half minute
There.
is spot on right now.
Okay,
Kind of a player at this point, y'all.
half minute right.
I mean, the Mirage looks right to left.
Wow.
Now it's picking back up on that flag again, just so you know.
I just saw it. So what the hell, Mike?
Okay. What was you got? I actually shot that with a minute right.
Okay, so we just heard something interesting. He said he shot that with a minute right. Now, knowing that he was out of sync with me by about a minute, that means he probably shot that with a no-win 0. And so, got blown out to left by about a minute and a half. So if he had really had a minute right on, it might have just nicked the 10 ring. Maybe. Let's see what happens.
How was your arm? How was your phone on? Or your breathing? Were you up and down?
It's changing so fast, it's hard to even say do this.
Yeah, no. I'm at my no-win 0, and I'm looking at that second flag. It's.
You had a half right before, and you have no in 0.
Not beat it. Pick him up on y'all.
You should be right.
Exit 9. God. Jesus.
Wow.
That ain't the answer.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, none on two draws.
Looks like I bumped the trigger cam, so.
You see some dust coming off the road way down there at about the 200-yard line, 100-yard line, and coming up to the left and going left. Now
Okay.
I'm picking it up from way over there, but
Randy, what'd you have on that?
That was exactly 2 minutes.
Okay. Huh. Weird.
So we got my buddy Mike talking about looking at the looking at the dust on the on the range road that goes down to the pits. Oh goodness. And you know, this is like halfway through the string, okay? We've been watching this, and only 10 minutes has gone by. It's incredible how much can happen in such a short period of time. Making this long-ass video that nobody wants to watch.
There we go.
Center.
good shot.
Yeah, that was rough. 179 and 176.
Weird.
You're front hand.
I don't like.
Or you were
So I don't like. Feels weird. The result was okay. Oh no.
Was that still 2 minutes?
That was 2 minutes right. And it was wrong.
The flag at the target's completely different than it was 30 seconds ago. Now it's coming back.
Exit 9.
Nice job. What did you have on, Conrad?
No, I'm at my no wind.
Okay.
Something's not right.
I'm gonna ask her for permission. We'll probably use that with the juniors. They're communicating really well.
Yeah. That is a good.
That was
All
1 minute right.
Okay.
Just after the match, I'll talk to her.
Your 1 minute right is my no wind.
Okay. Remember, this is a new barrel.
Yeah.
They got a long way to go.
Yeah.
There, can we start swapping up? Let me go get my stuff.
That's on call.
All right, 3 X
No
in a
win,
row,
0.
right? Feeling confident,
What the
more confident. Confused. Confused but confident.
Hard, Conrad, right?
Yep.
All right, my shot.
Straight away.
All right.
You gonna take your thing so you can go shoot?
Okay.
So I think Randy had on a minute right, which was really his no win 0. But you know what? In hindsight, maybe his no win 0 is a little bit more than a minute right. Okay.
Who's shooting first?
Conrad, but Randy just shot a 10. So.
Center.
You good?
Okay. Feeling better.
This is weird.
Feeling better doesn't mean that I have to understand it. Just have to work through it and with it.
I'm seeing some left, right now. Okay.
There's the rain. Good shot, Randy.
Definitely looks left right now.
The good news about rain is you can always tell which way the wind is going. Bad news is it's down on visibility. So the integrated focus rifle scope is nice and bright. So the image that comes through, it transmits quite a bit of light. Even though the trash can is siphoning off some of that, I was still able to see things pretty clearly.
I'm waiting.
Randy communicating that he's waiting. That's good. And then he just kind of watching.
Good. Center. Nice job, Conrad.
All right, we're on a roll. Maybe the rain is helping, right?
Exit 9.
Okay, so
Pretty much on.
Rain falling now.
adjusting windage, Garrett. Yes, sir.
Caught a brief glimpse of that flag that's down at the targets. It's
And if you could watch
not really very helpful.
and let us know. So far, what I've seen, we have a pretty good crosswind, so it's kind of zero right now.
Wow, good.
I know they were looking at the middle flag as the gate.
But here's the thing, right? You can kind of hear some of the other shooters talking, and they're feel like they're kind of behind. So they're talking about a crosswind, but at least for the last minute or so, it's been raining. Rain looks to be going straight down. I don't think there's a crosswind. Now they were probably looking at the flags, and where the flags are situated on this range, as we discussed before. I just don't think that they're as indicative. We have to look at the whole picture, and especially try to rely on mirage, which at this moment anyway, it disappeared because it's raining. But at least the rain tells us something too. So we're just taking advantage of the the current opportunity to get some rounds down.
Center.
What's that, an up gust? A down gust?
It kind of bounced around the recoil, so ignore that for the window.
All right, so what you heard there, I mean, folks, that's a corner shot. That's what happened there. And just kind of lucky it didn't end up being a 9. My corner shots used to be 7s and 8s. So now they're typically 9s. This one just happened to nick the 10 ring. But what you heard me just say there is that the recoil felt a little weird. The way that it bounced in my left hand, it just felt a little different. Okay, so that's when I feel like, in hindsight, that I know that it wasn't a good shot. Now, being able to tell that it's about to do that is a different story. Still working on that. Work in progress.
Wow.
Pinwheel, almost.
That's my buddy Randy. I told you, he can shoot straight.
Nice job, Conrad.
No wind, 0 right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't much going on right now. I mean, anyway.
Even though Mike is kind of, he's doing this things after the fact, it's still helpful, right? He's telling the very recent history, and it helps us understand and make sense of what's going on.
Exit 3.
Nice job.
You see the trees aren't really moving that much. Rain's still coming down real good.
I'm doing a minute and a half right. That's right. Good start.
Good shooting.
Good job, Mr.
In position for a long
All right.
time.
All right, good finish, guys. Just shot.
Oh, beautiful.
5 decks on the last shot. You're both clean the second string. Wow. That wind died down some. It was crazy early on.
Yeah, I don't want to do that again.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Well, we got the range to
didn't have
do.
to reset that window when it started this. Beautiful job.
Did you just hear that? The rain went from like roaring to nothing. It was an interesting weekend, that's for sure. Alright, anyway, y'all. Okay. Anyway, y'all, that's the string. And this video has been an hour. We've been looking at 20 minutes for an hour. You know, there's a lot of commentary in there. Hopefully it's helpful. It's just a little peek into what kind of goes on, at least for me, when I'm shooting a string in challenging conditions. And maybe an example of what team communication could look like. Or maybe you didn't like it, and you know not to do it like we did it. I don't know. But, yeah, there we go. It started out pretty uncomfortably, but I think we ended up doing out okay, given the circumstances. All right. Happy training, y'all.